on Tuesday as well. All right. So a little bit about me. For those that don't know me, the Federal University of Paraná State in 1994. Yes, I just revealed probably my age because it's been 30 years that I'm graduated. And I've done quite a lot of studies. I've done my MBA in logistics by the Getúlio Vargas Foundation. I've done some international courses as well. Planning construction in Japan, quality and productivity in Japan. I did my graduate certificate in project management in Lille, France, and also a few courses here in Australia as well. And in Australia, I am a chartered professional engineer with Engineers Australia, and also in Queensland, I am a registered professional engineer of Queensland, RPEQ. I recognized my qualification back in 2006. I started in 2005, but took me 8 to 10 months until I did everything. And finally, I got recognized in June 2006. And currently, I'm working the Queensland Transport and Main Roads, Department of Transport and Main Roads in the Queensland government. And I look after the structures network. The state has about 8,743 structures in the state that the department owns and looks after, and I manage that. That's my formal job. In my spare time, I created a project back in 2019, a website called engineersinaustralia.com, where I share valuable content and information about becoming an engineer to come true, as it did for me when I came in Australia in 2005. I also share hints for professional accomplishment in Australia, and in my Instagram and in my YouTube channel, I share some of the day-to-day of an engineer here in Australia. At the end of the day, I would like you to have a smoother road than mine. That's an Australian expression or an English expression, which means that your journey will be much easier than the journey that I did. So that's my objective. Share information, because when I came here in 2017, there wasn't really a lot of information. And I'm going to share with you a 30 seconds audio of one of my students, Erica. She's a civil engineer, and this makes me happy and motivates me to keep going, to keep sharing my knowledge with you, donating my time to you. When she got her news, good news from Engineers Australia, she literally sent me this audio, the time that she got her email from Engineers Australia when she was approved. So hopefully that will work.
Gerson, eles responderam, eu tô chorando de alegria aqui. Eles aprovaram meu diploma, graças a Deus, a minha validação, e aprovaram meus 2 anos de Austrália, mais 6 anos no Brasil. Meu Deus do céu, não tô aguentando de felicidade. Ai, meu Deus, obrigada, obrigada, obrigada. Eu não tenho nem como te agradecer. Nossa, muito obrigada. Gerson, você não sabe o quanto que você me ajudou. Depois eu vou até escrever um depoimento no Facebook te agradecendo, porque, nossa, muito obrigada. Foi muito essencial. Foi muito essencial. Obrigada mesmo.
And as you can see, she was she was crying. And when I had that audio, I almost cried as well, because her case was really difficult. She had a lot of challenges, and for many times she wanted to give up. and I insisted to her that she shouldn't really give up. She had chances. It was difficult, but yeah, we worked really hard. I spent lots and lots of hours with her, trying to explore alternatives in terms of her choosing her experiences to write career episodes to make sure that she could get a very strong application. And yes, she got it. And last year, she sent me a message, another message saying that she got her permanent visa approved. So yeah, I was happy in double. So that was really, really nice.
Gerson,
Okay, so the objective of this validation process, first of all, is for you to get this letter. I'm showing you my letter when I received it in June 2006, my validation approval letter from Engineers Australia. At the time was still a hard copy, came by mail, and but it doesn't stop there. The other one is my certificate as a chartered professional engineer with Engineers Australia. In Australia, the validation process is just your first step. When you get your chartered professional engineer status, it means that you can work autonomously. You don't need to be supervised. So that's very important, especially that many states in Australia, they are now having mandatory registration. And with the chartered professional engineer status, you will get your registration, which means that you can work without supervision, will make you more employable. So when you're looking for a job, I don't know any chartered professional engineer or registered professional engineer that does not have a job. All the engineers that I know that are registered or chartered professionals, they have a job. So it's very important. Why is that? Because the companies, they know that you are competent in your field and you don't need supervision. You can work autonomously. So why recognize the engineering qualification in Australia? One, to make the dream to come true in work as an engineer in Australia. And I've got some photos that I took of the work that I do and I did. Contribute to the engineering profession. I came as an international student here in Australia back in 2005. My wife was studying English and I was studying a diploma of business. So both of us on international student visas. Are you guys, who from you guys say yes if you are in Australia as an international student? Or say, I will be if you are in your home country and you're coming to Australia as an international student. So let's have a look. And again, participation and engagement, and I'll repeat again, is very, very important. The more you participating and engaging. So, I mean, I'm going to provoke you. I'm going to have questions. I've got knowledge check questions. I will ask you a few questions to get your participation and your engagement. So some people already, yes, Larissa, yes, Mark, yes, Bruna, yes, David, yes, Mahin, yes, David, same diploma project management, Mark say, yep. Good, Timothy, yes. So some of work, civil works, I'm a civil engineer, so got some civil works there, got some bridge works, replacement of joints. These are those in Brisbane. This is the Captain Cook Bridge. We jacked that bridge up, replaced all the bearings, and also we replaced the finger joints as well. So a lot of work and some electrical infrastructure as well. We do all the street lighting, traffic signals, those variable message signs across the roads and everything else. Also, as a personal and professional development, once you become an engineer in Australia, especially if you're a chartered professional engineer, you need to do your CPD, your continuing professional development, and you learn every day. You work with different people, you work with suppliers, contractors, subcontractors, consulting firms, the community, and you learn every day, you learn something. And you're learning professionally and you're learning personally as well. Opportunity to migrate to Australia, that was a very important point for me back in 2005 and 6 because I had a skilled migration visa, a permanent visa, and we did it. We applied in 2006. It took a long time. We waited 20 months, almost 2 years, and we got our permanent residency visa in April 2008. Also, it's a beginning of a family transformation. That's myself and my wife. We were going to Bali. Here, when you are in Australia, when you get a job as an engineer, obviously you start making a little bit more money, and then you get your vacations and everything else. And now we have our daughter here, and incredibly, we can travel everywhere. It's not that expensive. You save a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, and you can spend a nice holiday. So, yeah, we ended up going to many places. Just my daughter, I think she went already to like 8 usually priorities. We value our family. We don't really live a luxury life, but we enjoy traveling. We enjoy knowing different cultures, different food, spend time together as a family. So, and that's what Australia can provide to you, certainly provides to us. We from Brazil. Unfortunately, in Brazil, the things are not that safe as we are here in Australia. So that's why we managed to come here. This picture is a bit old, but that was a New Year's Eve on the Gold Coast. And I remember that after all the fireworks and everything else, we walked back to our hotel about 3 kilometers on the beach. In some places was pitch dark, very dark, and we have no concerns about our safety. We could walk. There were other people there, and yeah, obviously there are issues with crime and everything else here in Australia. But when you compare, at least when I compare to my country in Brazil, it's nothing really comparable. So you still need obviously to be careful, but yeah, those ones that are here in Australia, they probably know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to do a poll, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work. For those one using the app, I think it will work. For those using the website page, may not work, but I will try. Where's the poll? I had it set up. I don't know where it went. Where it doesn't look like it's here. But I had the poll already. Poll. All right. Looks like something went wrong, obviously. Sorry, guys. If something is to go wrong, it will go wrong. Something went wrong. We couldn't save your tab. Try again. No, I'm not. I'm not trying. So, as the poll didn't work, let's do in the chat. So, where are you now? If you are in Australia, you type number 1, number 2 for Brazil, number 3 for Colombia, number 4 for New Zealand, number 5 for Philippines, and 6 or other. Or if you want to type where you are, if you're not there, that's okay. So those ones on Instagram and YouTube, you're also welcome to participate and type your number there. And obviously I will participate and I will put my option. I am in Australia. So, Mark in Australia, David in Australia, Raquel in Australia. Yeah, Larissa, yeah, we can right here. Yeah, it's okay. Australia, Bruna, Australia, Ruhu, Australia, Rafael, Australia, Saru, Australia, Camila, Brazil, Candy, Philippines, Fabio, Brazil, Trevor, Papua New Guinea, Larissa, Australia, Renemar, Philippines, Mahin, Australia, Aldrin, Philippines, and Christian, Philippines. Andrew, 6. Oh, Oda. Where are you, Andrew? You can write the name of your country. Eduardo, Argentina, and Davi, Australia. And I'm in Australia as well. Thank you very much, guys, for your participation. Going back there. So the other one, I was going to do the poll again with the options, but just write in the comments, what's your engineering discipline? So I know what type of the very engineering fields that we have here. So mechanical engineer, production engineering. I think that, yeah, Larissa said that she's chemistry engineer. Yeah, mechanical engineer, geomechanics, geotechnical, chemical, mechanical, electrical, power, mining engineer, civil, energy engineer, control and automation engineering, civil engineer, electrical engineer, production engineer. Yeah, we certainly have a very different types of engineers here, which is really, really good, electrical engineer. And I can tell you guys, I know you guys also curious about the jobs here in Australia. All of those engineers, they are in demand in Australia. I work in infrastructure with roads and bridges, tunnels, and all of those engineers, they very employable here. Even mining engineers in infrastructures, because we are building lots and lots of tunnels in Australia, and some of the mining engineers, they're actually working in the tunnel construction because their knowledge about underground and those sort of things, geotechnics, it's really, really important. So, and also the suppliers of the construction companies. Larissa, she's a chemical engineer, and would be good for her to know that even in construction, there's a lot of material that demands lots and lots of chemical reactions, physical and chemical reactions, epoxies and additives to the concretes and everything else. So I'm pretty sure that chemical engineers, they also very in high demand in infrastructure projects. Thank you very much, guys. So what we're going to do today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. There is the tonight. So another one tomorrow evening, Monday, and the last one on Tuesday. So let's have a look at the workshop calendar. And I'm also broadcasting this to my Instagram profile and in my YouTube channel as well. But preferably, I would prefer you guys to be here in the Teams meeting. So tonight, we're going to talk about the opportunity for life transformation, the pathways and steps for validation. And I'm going to draw another 15 minutes of free consulting. Congratulations to Bruna. She's here. She was the lucky winner of the first 15 minutes of free consulting. And on Thursday, 7 p.m., I'm going to be delivering this free consulting with her. So with her and her husband. I'm talking with her already, so it's going to be this coming Thursday, 7 p.m. Brisbane time. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about the validation reports, which are the CPD, the career episodes, and the summary statements. So tomorrow, you'll know everything about it. And I'm going to draw another 15 minutes of free consulting. And on Tuesday, for those ones that were in the WhatsApp group when I asked you the question about if you're going to be interested in me bringing a PTE English test expert in the workshop, I am bringing on Tuesday a special guest. Her name is Michelle. Michelle, hello. She's a migration agent. Also, she's a specialist in PTE, and she's got a program called ACE in PTE. So she's going to talk about everything about PTE, and she'll be answering questions as well. So that session is going to start on Tuesday. It's going to take about 15-20 minutes. And then after that, I'm going to continue with the workshop where we're going to together, because I'm going to give you a template of the action plan. I will send you by email the template first, and then on Tuesday we will fill that template out. So we'll complete the template with the main. Obviously, each action plan will be different because of your situation, but we will complete the template together, so you have at least a good way to start your validation process. And by doing that, obviously, we'll be reviewing the whole validation process. And also, I'm going to be opening a new mentoring group of 2024. So that's my online mentoring group, Validation Formula. A lot of people asked me when I was going to open a new group, and this new group is going to be on Tuesday, and I'm going to explain everything about it. And also on Tuesday, I'm going to draw the winner of the 75% discount of my mentoring program. One lucky winner will get more than $1,000 in discount. So make sure that I'm going to explain how you can have the chance to get that 75% discount. And those ones that didn't win the discount, I will give away another 15 minutes of free consulting to you guys. So you don't need to be upset if you don't win the 75% discount. You can still win the 15 minutes of free consulting. Eduardo Munoz, you have your. I'm going to allow, I think, microphone. Just a second. Ask something? Are you good? And also later on, if you're in pajamas or naked, put a shirt or something like that. I'm going to ask you guys to turn on your camera a little bit later on, because I want to do a nice screenshot and put in my Instagram as well. I actually got 2 pages here of participants. I don't know how to do it. Probably have to take a screenshot of one and then take a screenshot of the other one. So make sure that towards the end you have your hair done and everything else. All right. Okay. So how do you get the 15 minutes of free consulting tonight? Tonight I'm going to do the draw. So you just need to go to my Instagram post. I know that takes a while until I start the content, but so many things to share with you guys. So, and I'm pretty sure you want to get the consulting. So you just need to go to this post, the blue one, which is the 15 minutes of free consulting. Just need to like the post, follow my profile. You got to stay with me until the end of tonight's live session. So Bruna already got hers. If she's the lucky one again tonight, unfortunately, she won't be able to get to. I will draw a new winner so we can share my time with you guys. Okay, so that's a QR code in there. So it's really important that you do that so you can have a chance to win the 15 minutes of free consulting. And as I said, with Bruna, it will be on Thursday, 8th of August at 7 p.m. And it's important that you participate because her question or her husband's questions can be useful for you as well. So that's why I do this online in a live session, because I am benefiting not just Bruna and her husband, but I am benefiting everybody that's watching the live session and also everybody that will watch later on. So the information can be shared with more people. All right, so starting the content. And I'm going to ask this question because I want to tailor the workshop according to your questions. There's a lot of information to share about the validation process, but if I know, if you know much, if you don't know anything, if you know everything, depending how much you know, obviously I can give more details, I can stress on this area, I can focus on that area. So if you know nothing, number one is your option. You know the process, but you have questions, that's your number two. You've started your process, but you don't know if you're doing right, number three. Or if you know everything, but you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing, then number four is your option. So we've got, yeah, a lot of participation here. Thank you very much, guys. Nothing. I know the process, but I have questions. Fabio says, Anju, nothing. Audrey, nothing. Rafael Matos, he started the process, but he doesn't know he's doing right. Mahin, nothing. Mark started the process. Bruna, she knows the process, but she's got questions. Alice, she knows the process, but she's got questions. Tiago, the same. And Saru started the process, but don't know doing right. Yeah, good. YouTube, Instagram, all good. Okay, so it's good to know that a lot of people don't know much about the process, and I promise you that by Tuesday you will know everything about the process, and even then on Wednesday you can start your application process. And for those ones that they know but they have questions, I'm hoping that I'll be able to answer your questions and you will know then everything. And those that already started, but you want to know if you're doing it right, hopefully I will be able to maybe let you know if you're doing it right or if you what do you need to fix and correct, what direction you need to go. And for those ones that considering to join my mentoring program and would like to win a discount, it's also very easy. It's got a little bit more work to do, but you need to go to my other post, the one in green. The QR code is in the screen. So you need to take a screenshot of lives number 1 tonight and live number 2 tomorrow evening. Take a screenshot. Take a picture of the screen. If you're watching on mobile, take a screenshot or do your print screen in your computer and then post in your stories. Very important that you post in your stories. Like Larissa did. I just saw notification. So Larissa, she already did a screenshot and posted in her stories. She marked my profile, so I am notified that she posted in her stories. And then in that post, in the green one, you just need to then write in the comments, mark an engineer, follow my profile, like the post, mark an engineer, and write in the comments one learning from tonight's live session. That's very important. Remember, those ones, probably a lot of you guys didn't participate in the warm-up session on Thursday. But why am I asking you to write in the post, I will become an engineer in Australia? That is to tell your brain a positive thinking. Because during the validation process, I spoke about the worst enemy on Thursday, which is procrastination. You will have a lot of reasons why you're not going to do your validation process. And many of you will. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about priorities. If you keep going with your validation, it means that it is a priority for you. You want to become an engineer in Australia. You want to give the next step closer to your permanent visa. You want to apply for your skilled migration visa, etc. But if you don't want that now, that's fine. You don't need to do. I'm just here to show you and to share with you how you can do it easier. There's always a more complicated way and an easier way. I'm here to show you how to do it easier. So engagement and positive thinking is very important, because when somebody invites you to go to that barbecue and you have to write your career episodes, you have to be really strong to say, thanks for the invitation, but I have to write my career episode because it's my priority to become an engineer in Australia. So that's why it's very important to have positive thinking, and that's why I'm asking you to write in the comments, I will become an engineer in Australia, to start educating your brain of a positive thinking, because you will need it. And when somebody invites you to that barbecue and you say, sorry, I have to write my career episodes, thanks for the invitation, you will remember me, because then you were stronger than your temptation. David said, done. Good. Thank you. Trevor says, started through Engineers Australia, but not sure if it is the same. Stop at writing a career episode, so need assistant. Yes. And I'm going to talk to you guys about it probably tomorrow in terms of writing the career episodes. Okay? So don't forget then to write in the comments after live session tonight, one learning. And because I have to write one learning means that you probably need to pay attention to what I'm going to talk to you tonight. And by paying attention, you will learn something. And by learning something, your process of becoming engineer in Australia will be much easier. I was going to do the cloud, but because it's not working, you can write in the comments. What is your biggest question about the validation process? If you tell me your question, obviously during the workshop, I can answer those questions. And in this way, I am customizing the workshop to you. I have lots of generic information, but if you ask me a question, I will endeavor to answer that question. And when I do that, I am tailoring the workshop to your needs. And that's what I think is going to be more important, that you see value in participating in this workshop. So have a think about it. Doesn't need to answer now. But if you know what is your biggest question about the validation process, you can write in the comments. Those ones in Instagram, you can write in the comments there, and those ones in YouTube as well. Okay, so the different pathways of the qualification validation. So there are 5 different pathways for those engineers that they are qualified overseas, or the overseas people here in Australia. The first pathway is the Australian qualification. And I know many overseas engineers that they decided to come to Australia and study an engineering degree. Maybe because they couldn't really do their validation, because they didn't have documentation, or they didn't have any experience, either academic or work, to use in the validation, and they decided to do an engineering degree. So if you, for those ones that are qualified here in Australia in a recognized course by Engineers Australia, you can go pathway number 1, which is the Australian qualification pathway. Pathway number 2, 3, and 4, they are under the International Engineering Alliance. And in the International Engineering Alliance, there are different accords. The first one is pathway number 2, which is the Washington Accord. The Washington Accord is for professional engineers. And there are some 20, I think 24, 25 countries that they are full signatories of the Washington Accord. And from the countries that I've seen in there, I'm going to probably share with you the Washington Accord. So you guys have a better idea. Let me see here. How can I do that? All right, we'll share the screen. All right, you guys can probably see my browser. So that is the workshop website, where you can see where it's going to be. You can watch the replay from here as well, engqualvalworkshop.com. So that is the workshop website. I built the website, so that's why it's not very beautiful, but it does the job. So when you do International Engineering Alliance, that is the homepage. And then you can see here the accords. So you go to Washington Accord, and then you see signatories. Make slightly bigger. And signatories, they have full signatories and provisional signatories. You need to be in the full signatories. So if you are from these countries, Korea, Russia, Malaysia, China, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Ireland, Hong Kong, China, Chinese Taipei, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Japan, India, United States, Turkey, United Kingdom, Bangladesh, Costa Rica, Mexico, Pakistan, Peru, Philippines, Indonesia. You could use the Washington Accord. So, for example, those ones in Philippines, if you graduated in 2023 or later, I mean 2024, you can, if you are qualified there, registered, you could use the Washington Accord as well. So, and the other list is the ones in provisional. Provisional means that they are not full signatories, but they are in the pathway to become a full signatory. So Chile, Thailand, Myanmar, Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, and Mauritius, they are provisional signatories. So if you are graduated in those countries in those years, unfortunately, you still cannot use Washington Accord because you are provisional signatory. When those countries, they become full signatory, then obviously you're going to start from the year that they become full signatory. Let's say Chile. And I believe, Bruna, your husband graduated in Chile in 2017. But Chile is still provisional. So if it becomes full signatory this year, 2024, because your husband graduated in 2017, is still not eligible to use Washington Accord, it still needs to use the CDR pathway. Philippines, those ones, Timothy graduated in 2020. Yes, because recognition date as full signatory status applies from 2023. So if you graduated in 2020, you're not eligible, unfortunately. So Papua New Guinea, Trevor, yes, is not on both lists. So basically we'll do the hard yards, yes, unfortunately. And majority of the countries in the world, I don't know how many countries in the world, 200 and something, majority of them, they will have to do in the hard yards, yeah, unfortunately. So that is pathway number 2 for those ones able to use Washington Accord. Pathway number 3 is going to be those ones for engineering technologist category. They can do under the Sydney Accord as well. So the full signatories are those countries, similar thing. If you are a technologist graduated in those countries on or after those years that the country became a full signatory, you could be eligible to apply under the Sydney Accord for engineering technologist. That's pathway number 3. And then pathway number 4 is going to be via the Dublin Accord. The Dublin Accord is for the engineering associates or technicians. And also they have the full signatories, those countries, and they don't have provisional. So if you are an engineering associate under those countries, graduated on or after those years, you could be eligible to apply under the Dublin Accord for engineering technologists. So that is going to be pathway number 4. Going back to the PowerPoint. And then pathway number 5 is then for those that your qualification is not accredited nor from an accord listed country. So basically, Papua New Guinea, Brazil, Argentina, those from Philippines before 2023, you will need to apply under the competency demonstration report pathway. And that's going to be obviously the essence of my workshop, because majority of engineers in the world will need to go under the CDR pathway, competency demonstration report. And we're going to see the 6 steps for the CDR pathway tonight as well. Okay. For those, I don't think there's anybody from France, but France did an agreement with Engineers Australia, I think from 2022, I think, or 2021. So those ones from France, if you meet the eligibility criteria, you can apply under the Washington Accord as well. Okay, so 6 steps for the CDR pathway, competency demonstration report. I'd say that the validation process under the CDR pathway is quite simple. Simple because it's just 6 steps. However, it's not very easy. Things in life can be simple and easy, can be simple and difficult. Or things can be complex and easy, and complex and difficult. So I'd classify the validation process as simple but difficult for majority of people, because you need to write reports. And at least the engineers that I know, including myself, don't like writing reports. I don't know you. Maybe you like to write report. Maybe you are very good at writing reports. If you like to write reports and if you are very good in writing reports, good on you, because you're probably outside of the curve for engineers. So that's why it's a little bit more difficult, because you need to not just write the reports, but you also need to understand about competencies. You need to understand what examples can be used to address some of the competencies. So that's why it starts to become more difficult. But the process in itself is simple. Step number 1, personal information. What you need to do, you need to get your photo, like a passport type photo. Your identification can be your national identification card, or can be your passport photo page. The change of name, if that's the case, you got married or you change your name, you need to have your marriage certificate or your change of name certificate. You need to have your CV or your resume. And very important that after graduation, Engineers Australia requires you to have no gaps in time since you graduated. So let's say that you graduated in 2020, like Timothy said. Graduated in 2020, And then first year, you worked as an engineer. 2021, you worked as an engineer during COVID and everything else. And then 2022, you came to Australia. And then you didn't work as an engineer because you were studying for 1 year and you were working other things, hospitality or whatever. And then and still working in hospitality or just studying until today. So in your resume, you put that you graduated in 2020, and then in 2021 you worked for that company. In 2022 you came to Australia, you studied or studying these courses and working in hospitality, working in delivery, in cleaning, whatever. But that's important that you include in there. You cannot have gaps in your CV. Engineers Australia wants to know what you are doing since you graduated. And so that's for the CV and resume. And also in the personal information, you will need to upload your English test results. And I'm going to talk about the English test results and the scores, minimum scores, a little bit later. And then step number 2 is when you're doing your application, you need to choose your category and your occupation. Category. There are 3, maybe 4 categories. Professional engineer is one category. Engineering technologist is another category. Engineering associate is another category. And then there's a category of engineering manager just for migration purposes. What does that mean? It means that if you apply under the engineering manager category, if you are approved, you can use in your migration process, but you are not eligible to become a member of Engineers Australia. Why is that, Gerson? Well, the title is engineering manager. So it's a manager category. It's not an engineer category. So that's why you cannot become a member of Engineers Australia, but you can use for your migration process. And the occupational category, the occupation is the type of engineering. So I am a civil engineer. There's mechanical engineer, chemical engineer, electrical, electronics, mechanical, production, plant, mining, environmental, agricultural, different types of engineers. So those ones, they are then going to be the occupation. And for each occupation, there will be a definition according to ANZ SEO, the Australian New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupations, or ANSCO. People say ANSCO, or ANZ SEO. The definition is very important. I'm going to show you guys tomorrow the ANSCO website, where we're going to see some of the definitions of some engineers, and why it's so important that you understand the definition of your engineering profession according to the ANZ SEO. So that was step number 2. Step number 3 is about education. That's pretty much straightforward. It's not very complicated. You need to prepare your academic certificates, your bachelor degree, your master's degree if you have one, post-graduation courses, specialization courses if you want to upload those ones. And also the academic transcripts, especially for your bachelor degree. Obviously, if those documents are not in English language, you will need to get an authorized translator. Any document that is not in English language that Engineers Australia is asking to you, you will need to get an authorized translator. Gerson, does it need to be NATI translator? NATI are the national accredited translators and interpreters here in Australia. And the answer is no. You don't need to use just NATI translators, Australian translators. You can use an authorized translator in your country as long as they are authorized. So for that, they will need to have an identification number, contact details, their status, and in Brazil we call tradutor juramentado. So those ones can be used in your home country, or you can use those ones here in Australia. I don't know how much is the translation in your country. Here in Australia, depends on obviously the size of the page, the content. It can be between 25 to probably $40, $50 per page. And also important that when you upload your documents to Engineers Australia website, if you're uploading a translation, you also need to upload the document in the original language as well. So if you have a document in Portuguese, you translate it to English, you need to upload both the Portuguese document and the Portuguese language document and the English language document as well. And when you scan, it's very important. The scanning, it's a silly detail, but it's important. It needs to be in color, in high resolution, at least 300 dpi resolution. I've seen already Engineers Australia asking engineers to resend the documents because it was black and white or it was in low resolution. So that was step number 3. Step number 4 is about the skilled employment. So evidence of employment is necessary if you're using the career episode. And we'll see in the career episode tomorrow. Career episode is one of the reports that you need to write in your validation process. So if you're going to use work experience in your career episode, you need to have your reference letter from your company. Oh yeah, Jerson, but the company shut down. I cannot get a reference letter. Too bad. I know that you potentially could provide other documents, but to everybody that asked me that question, and even to my students, my mentoring program, I advise them to think about another experience that they can get a reference letter. A reference letter is very, very important for Engineers Australia. However, if you don't have any other experience, the only experience that you had and you want to use is the one where the company shut down operations, then obviously you can't get a letter. You may get a letter from the customer. You may get a translation of your ART, annotation of technical responsibility. Try to gather all other documents and send to Engineers Australia and see what they say. They may accept, they may not accept. And obviously, if you are going to do your RSEA, the Relevant Skilled Employment Assessment, which is a different service that Engineers Australia is going to validate your time, your period of work experience for your migration process, you will need to get your reference letter as well. So, as well as other documentation. For the RSEA, it's more like a migration process, so you probably need to talk to your migration agent. But apart from the reference letter, you will need to get, your social security statements, superannuation statements, tax return, bank statements, pay slips, and a few other documents there. So that's step number 4. Step number, just a detail in the reference letter. It needs to be in the company letterhead, papel timbrado. Very important. A reference letter, what's in the reference letter? Obviously, the company letterhead, papel timbrado, and an introductory paragraph saying that, let's say here, David Fernandez was employed by our company as a, let's say, production engineer. Sorry, David, I forgot what type of engineer you are. Production engineer from the start date until the end date, day, month, and year of start, and day, month, and year of the finish. Working full-time or part-time and having a salary of this much per month or per year, whatever. Okay, and then during that time, David performed the following activities. It's important to have at least the 5 main activities. And if you know that you're going to write about a project that you performed in that company, detail that project name in those activities as well. Okay? At least 5 activities. You can have more, but at least 5 main activities. And also, it's important to have the name of the person who is signing the letter and the contact details, email, telephone number, etc. Okay? So that is step number 4. Step number 5 are the reports. And this is probably the most difficult part, apart from the English test. A lot of people, they struggle in the English test, but the reports. You need to prepare your CPD, your continuing professional development. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Your career episodes. You need to choose 3 experiences to write 3 career episodes. And we're going to talk about career episodes tomorrow. And also your summary statement. Summary statement is where there are 16 competencies and you have to address all those 16 competencies. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow as well. So that's step number 5. Step number 6 is going to be your application itself. You're going to create an identification number with Engineers Australia in their website, and then you will upload all your documents. You're going to select the services that you want Engineers Australia to do. You're going to upload your reports. You're going to pay the fee, whatever service you've chosen. There will be an amount of money that you have to pay to Engineers Australia. And then you hit submit, and then you just wait until your result comes back. I received an email from Engineers Australia saying that they increased the number of assessors. So it was taking some time in the past. It was taking, just a standard process was taking between 8 weeks until probably 12, 15 weeks. And then if you pay fast track, then it was going to take, it was taking about 4 weeks. So now, because Engineers Australia got more assessors, it's taking now less time. It's going quicker. I have one of my students, she applied standard and she got some responses after 4 weeks. So it's good, which means that unless you are really in a rush, you don't need to pay fast track, which is going to save you about $350. Okay. I know that there are some questions in the chat, guys. I will go to those questions a little bit later. English test scores. It's very important you to know that there are 4 bands: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And there are 3 types of tests: IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, And there are some minimum scores that you need to get in each of those bands. It's important that it's each of those bands: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So IELTS 6. It means that you got to get at least 6, 6, 6, and 6. It's not 6, 6, 5.5, 6.5. Average 6. It's not average. It's minimum of 6, 6, 6, 6. Obviously, if you get more, better for you. But for Engineers Australia to accept your test result, you need to get at least 6 in all of the 4 bands. If you don't get, let's say, in one band, let's say that in writing you got 5.5 in writing, what you can do another test. It's going to be the same. So if you got 5.5 in IELTS, you do another IELTS, and then you combine the 2 test results to make sure that combining the 2 test results, you get minimum of 6 in every band. Okay? The only thing is that those test results, they both need to be valid, which means the time that you applied your validation, the test cannot be older than 3 years. Okay? So for TOEFL, 12 in reading, 12 in listening, 13 in reading, 21 in writing, and 18 in speaking. And PTE, 50 in all bands. All right, so I'm going to give myself a pause. So just a video from Andre, a civil structure engineer in Brisbane. He was validated in November 2021. I'm just going to get my water and just going to blow my nose while you guys watch his video. After you got your validation, the email that comes from Engineers Australia.
Oh my God!
Should I open or not open? Yeah, tell us what was the emotion when you got the email. And
once I got it, I was actually at work, and I had started a job already as an engineer here, so I got my job before the qualification. Was very fortunate.
Yeah,
and there was no words for it. Like, I was very, very happy. People at work were celebrating with me.
wow.
It was like,
that's excellent.
It was a really good feeling. Like, you cannot put into words. Like,
yeah, imagine, and that's what I say, that that's the opportunity for life transformation, because as I mentioned before, with Erica, becoming an engineer opened the doors for her to become a permanent resident here in Australia, and probably she'll get her Australian passport very soon. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys, have this dream to become a permanent resident, to live in Australia, to work as an engineer, and maybe help your family in your home country. So there's lots and lots of opportunities. But very inspiring, and I think it's important, as I said, it's important for you to get inspiration and motivation, because there will be times, unfortunately, that you will not be very well, you will try to give up. Even in this workshop, we are now here with, I think, 25, 26 people. Tomorrow will be less, and on Tuesday will be less again, because some people, they come, some people, they don't come back, other people not going to come back on Tuesday. But those ones coming back tomorrow and coming back on Tuesday, I know that you will be successful, you are committed, and you are in the right pathway. So knowledge check number 1. And then I got knowledge check number 1 and knowledge check number 2. I will then answer the questions, and then I'm going to do the giveaway of the 15 minutes of free consulting. So knowledge check number 1, write in the comments or in the chat. I graduated in Brazil. What is my validation pathway? Number 1, Washington Accord. Number 2, CDR, Competency Demonstration Report. Number 3, Australian Qualification. Or number 4, International Engineering Alliance. So you guys are already writing some of your responses. I'll check if you guys are paying attention. Yeah, two. Yeah, Larissa, you're crying. Yeah, unfortunately. I know that's a hard way. Yeah. Yeah, number 2 is the right answer. If you graduated in Brazil, unfortunately, is not in the International Engineering Alliance. It's not in the Washington Accord. You gotta go competency demonstration report. There is just one type of visa. I think it's a 476. I think it's a temporary visa. It's a temporary visa, and you can use the Washington Accord if you are graduated from the Federal University of Minas Gerais. But then there's some eligibility criteria in terms of age, the time after you graduated, but it is a temporary visa. If you want then to apply for a permanent visa, you need to do still your CDR pathway. Knowledge check number 2. Can I have time gaps in my CV? Yes, any period? Yes, up to 6 months. Or number 3, no. Yeah, 3, no. Yes, the correct answer is number 3. You cannot have gaps in your CV. It looks like a silly thing, but I've seen Engineers Australia asking people to resend their resume and those sort of things. You know, it's unnecessary thing. And also a good tip about the CV. If you don't have work experience, you can still apply for your validation. You can use your academic experience. In that case, add in your CV a little bit more about your studies. If you've done a supervised internship, if you participated in some working groups, if you were tutoring others and those sort of things, it's important then in your CV to have some of your academic experiences in your CV, especially because if you don't have work experience, after you graduated, you're not going to have much. So put a little bit while you were studying. All right, so I will answer some of the questions. While I answer the questions, I'll leave on the screen. I think, the 15 minutes. So I'm going to do the draw now. So if you haven't done yet, that's the QR code for you to like the post, follow my profile, mark another engineer in the comments, and then write in the comments, I will become an engineer in Australia. And while I answered the questions in the chat, you still have time to do that and have a chance to win the 15 minutes of free consulting that I'm going to do soon after I answer those questions there. So let's have a look. If some questions are related to the content of tomorrow or Tuesday, then I'll skip the question and I'll answer then tomorrow or Tuesday, okay? What are the steps and if it is difficult to write all the experiences? Yeah, I'm going to talk tomorrow. There's actually, I'm going to explain to you guys the structure of the career episodes, how to choose the experiences to have a better chance to write, obviously, a good experience to write your career episodes. That's going to be tomorrow. How long does it take? If I start from the beginning, what's the first step? The validation process, understanding that a lot of people, they are studying and working. So obviously, you need to share your time between studying and working if you are in Australia, for example. But if you dedicate about 5 hours per week, I think that you can probably finish in 3 to 4 months. So I think it's a reasonable time. I don't really recommend you to do in 1 week, for example, because you will get very tired. Writing the career episodes is going to be really tiring, mentally draining. So I would advise you guys to allow yourself between 3 to 4 months. Don't leave until the last minute. Don't procrastinate. I'm a professional procrastinator, so asking you not to procrastinate, I kind of, how come? How you cannot procrastinate? But allow yourself 3 to 4 months. If you, for some whatever reason, you procrastinated a lot and you just have 1 month to do, it's still possible. I've got students that they did in 2.5 weeks. So you can be done. But yeah, it's just obviously more difficult. Sorry. It is possible to use my report from my internship job, estágio, as a career episode. Tiago, yes, it is possible, obviously, as long as the content of your internship matches the definition of the ANZ SEO occupation. And we'll see that tomorrow. What if anyone graduated before that time? I mean 2023. You're probably from Philippines, Rahul. If anyone graduated before 2023, it means that you cannot use Washington Accord. You need to use CDR pathway. Graduated 2012 from Bangladesh. Bangladesh. And an engineer member, she should engineer in Bangladesh, but Washington accorded 2023. Yeah, sorry, Ruhu. If Bangladesh became a full signatory just in 2023 and you graduated in 2012, unfortunately, you have to do the competency demonstration report pathway. How old do they still consider it? For the validation process, there's no age limitation. I have one of my students, Guilherme. I think he's in one of my YouTube videos as well. I did an interview with him. When he graduated back in 2021 or 2022, he was about 61, 62 years old. So there's no age limitation for the validation process. However, there are limitations for migration processes. In his case, Guilherme, although he was 61, 62, he was already a permanent resident because of the daughter. The daughter had got permanent residency and then got his visa as a parent. Can you send a letter of a manager, ex-manager? Yes. Yes, you can, David. as long as the ex-manager is from the company and the company letterhead. So, but if you're asking about a letter from the person, your ex-manager as a person, no link nowadays with the company, it's a bit iffy. If your manager does not work in the company anymore, I would still go to the company and ask a letter from the human resources department. You have a sample reference letter that we can forward to former companies. Does it need to be from a direct manager? Yeah, preferably from a direct manager, but obviously if the direct manager is not there, you can get from the owner of the company, you can get from the human resources department. I don't really have a sample reference letter, but VetaSys has, well, they used to have a good template. I think it's called a statement of employment, I think, or statement of duties, something like that in the VetaSys website. Francisco, yeah, welcome, Francisco. All my car episodes are from the same company. Would it be advantageous to get more than one letter of reference? One from the engineer who supervised me closely and another from one of the partners, for example. Yeah, doesn't really matter, Francisco. If you want to have, for example, if you want to have different activities in the letter, yeah, probably you can get if you still have access to the company. It's not really a problem. I only worked by myself. I have a group of workers and I build houses to be sold. I was never employed by any company. How can I prove my experience? Yeah, thanks, Danilo. That is for the self-employed or the company owner. So the way that you can prove your experience is usually with the contracts that you ended up having with your client, your tax return, your accountant will probably going to give you a letter as well. The ARTs, the annotation of technical responsibility that you have for those projects, you can then demonstrate that you've built that experience. Timothy, would a certificate of employment suffice, or the letter must be updated on the current year submitting the application? The thing about the certificate of employment depends if they have the 5 main activities. It's very important that the letter needs to have the 5 main activities. Why is that? Because Engineers Australia, they want to make sure that you have relevant, skilled employment. So they need to know if the activities that you performed, they are equivalent to the activities from the ANZ SEO occupation definition. How long do they consider us to be out of engineering area? There's not really that consideration, Larissa, because Engineers Australia, the validation of your qualification is Engineers Australia saying to you that your academic studies, your academic qualification is equivalent to an Australian qualification. So even if you graduated back in 2000 and you never worked as an engineer, you can still use your academic studies in 2000 and get validated. The only thing is about your CPD, continuing professional development. Engineers Australia, especially for those engineers that graduated a long time ago, they want to make sure with your CPD report, continuing professional development, that you kept yourself up to date with the engineering field. So every year you had some learning. Doesn't need to be a proper course. We're going to talk about CPD tomorrow. Camille is asking, I work as an analyst and not as an engineer. Can I do the validation process? Basically, you can, because I know that especially in Brazil, there's a lot of companies that they employ you as an analyst, not as an engineer. So they don't need to pay you as an engineer, they pay you as an analyst. However, if the activities that you perform are equivalent to the activities of an engineer, that is what is important. The title itself doesn't impact too much. As long as the work that you do is considered to be the work of an engineer, you can demonstrate your competencies using those experiences, especially because Engineers Australia does not require work experience. So if you are working as an analyst and you're not doing work as an engineer, you still can validate your qualification because you can use your university experience when you were studying to become an engineer. The other question, do spouse need to do IELTS or PTE for permanent resident? Yeah, you probably have to ask for a migration agent, Liam. I'm not a migration agent, so I wouldn't really know the answer for that. Mark, based on recent statistics, what percentage of those who underwent the validation process was actually passed? Well, I don't have statistics from Engineers Australia. I have statistics of my mentoring program, my students. 36 students already applied, and all the 36 students being approved. So based from my statistics of my students, 100% got approved. But I can tell you that unfortunately not everybody is approved. I have many people that they call me, they ask me to help them because they were not approved for many reasons. But as you probably heard already, I don't do consulting services. I don't do one-on-one consulting. What I do is my group mentoring. But I don't do one-on-one consulting. So for all those engineers that already contacted me, I had to say that I couldn't help them because I don't do one-on-one consulting. My mentoring program is online, is in group, so they learn everything they need to do by themselves, obviously with my mentoring, and so far, 100% approval rate. It's good. If we use a combined English exam result because we failed on one band and initially passed band, failed on the second one, does it still consider the initial result? Yes, they do. If you send the two results, when you combine the two results, obviously the two results combined, they got to have minimum scores in all bands. Fabio, is it possible to validate a new engineering course taken in Brazil with a similar one in Australia? For example, my course is energy engineering, a 5-year bachelor's degree in Brazil. Since it is a new course, it would not have a code in Australia. In Brazil, it would be similar to electrical engineering. In terms of responsibilities, I'm thinking of trying as electrical engineering. Well, it's important that you check the definition of the electrical engineer in the ANZ SEO occupation definition and see if as an energy engineer you kind of are similar. Also go to the universities here in Australia. You can go to the University of Technology in Sydney or the University of Queensland, the Melbourne Institute of Technology, whatever, and have a look at the electrical engineering syllabus and have a look the subjects to see if they are kind of equivalent to the subjects of your energy engineering degree. Sir, I want to ask, I have bachelor in civil engineering and master structural engineer, and both of I finished out of Australia, graduated 2021 in Turkey. And both of I finished out of Australia, graduated 21 in Turkey. Turkey, yeah, Turkey, what was Turkey again? I think Turkey is in Washington Accord, wasn't it? Yeah, Turkey, represented by Association for Evaluation and Accreditation of Engineering Programs, MUDEC, 2011. So 2011, if you graduated in 2021, especially your civil engineering, so I think Abdullah, you're probably eligible for Washington Accord. It's important to double check that. Timothy, would a certificate of employment suffice? I think I've answered that on there. Graduated in 2013 from the PNG University of Technology in electrical engineering, specialized in power system. Now work facility manager, Bank Papua New Guinea, with categorized engineering, professional engineering manager. Yeah, depends what you do, Trevor. I know that sometimes as a facility manager could be more like engineering manager, but depends the activities that you do. If the activities that you do, they align with the engineer, then you can appoint the engineer. But if what you do is more like management, yeah, then you will need to apply under the engineering manager. Or if you decide if you really want to do electrical engineering, you can use your university experience. Are reference letters only for validating career episodes, or will they be necessary for all companies you have worked for and in turn that even if you not use this company as career episodes? If you're going to validate your work experience, then it's for everything. If we can't get any employment documents for a company that already closed, although we won't be using episode from that company, but we need to include that work experience on the CV because there must be no gap. Will it be a problem? In the CV, yeah, that's all right. You can just put in between brackets that the company shut down operations. The letter can be in Portuguese and we can translate it. Yeah, it can be. But I suggest you to get the letter in Portuguese and in English because then you save yourself the translation cost. You can send the letter in English directly, and then you save yourself probably $30, $40. I have 3 managers in different activities at the same company. I must have a letter from each one. With the different activities, if they are different activities, I suggest you to have different letters as well. Or if one manager is happy to sign one letter with all activities that you performed, yeah, that's also fine. I graduated structural engineering in 2021 in Turkey. How can I convert my certificate? Yeah, we spoke about that, Abdullah. Yeah, Larissa, will become an engineer in Australia and be approved for it. Good. Davi, I mean the letter of the company. Yes, the letter of the company can be in Portuguese and be translated. And the letter of the company can be in English as well. So that's what I meant. You save yourself $50 $25. Thanks, guys, for the questions. And let's go to so for those ones that joined a little bit later, so what about, guys? Are you guys ready to turn on your cameras so we can take a very nice screenshot so I can put in Instagram the beautiful faces of you guys? So while you turn on your cameras, don't forget about the discount of 75% in my online mentoring program. If you're considering to join my mentoring program on Tuesday, you can win 75% discount. What you need to do, you need to take a screenshot now or during the live session that you took, or when you're watching the replay, that's okay. And post in your stories and mark my name so I know that that you posted. And I think you need to follow me. If you don't follow me, I don't see even if you mark. And then in the post of the 75% discount, which is this one, the green one, like the post, mark an engineer and write one comment of a learning of tonight's live session. And then tomorrow, you do it again, take a screenshot of live number 2 and write a comment, post in your stories, mark my profile, and then in the comments, you write a learning from live number 2 tomorrow. Okay, so I will take a screenshot. Smile. That's one. I got 2 screens, so just a sec. I'll save this one here. So live one. So smile again. Good. All right. That's nice. You can start smiling. It's done. Good. Okay. So what I will do now, and it's always good to put a face in the name. Yeah. And now we're going to do the draw of the winner of the 15 minutes of free consulting. So I'm going to share the screen of the website there. Where's the website? So that's this one. So sharing. Sharing this one. Can you see the website there? And to be transparent so everybody sees that. All right, so we'll reload the page so it gets updated. This one. So 31 comments. So fingers crossed, who wants to win? Loading comments. All right, so one winner. It's certification. Countdown. Let's just have 3. And all right. So Oh, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. I will become an engineer in Australia. Raquel Mayura. Uh, Raquel Mayura, she liked the post. She follows me. And she marked an engineer. And she wrote, I will become an engineer in Australia. But she needs to be here. Are you here? Yes, Raquel Maíra da Silva. She is here. Well done. Congratulations. So I will contact you so we can schedule our consulting. Thank you very much for participating. And for those ones that didn't win, don't be upset. There's another chance tomorrow. But for tomorrow one, it will be different. So I have a new challenge for you for tomorrow. I did that already a couple of times. And the good news of that is that not many people do this. So if you do that, you have more chances to win. So what I will ask you to do, where's my post-it? Do you have a post-it? Post-it notes. I don't have any post-it notes here. But if you have a post-it note, again, it's all about positive message. So let's pretend that this is your post-it note. You will write in your post-it note, I will become an engineer in Australia in 2024. So I will become an engineer in Australia in 2024. You write a post-it note like that, and then you stick in your fridge, and then you take a picture, and that picture you post in your Instagram and mark my profile. Okay? And then I will do, once I finish this live here, I'll do a post in my Instagram with the post-it challenge, and you just write in the comments, done. So write your post-it note, stick in the fridge or somewhere, take a photo, post in your stories, and mark my profile, and write done in the comments of the post-it notes post in Instagram. Just that. You don't need to like the post and mark an engineer. Just write post. If you want to like the post, that's all right. But just write done. And then tomorrow, I'm going to use that post to run the draw, which means that very few people will do this challenge. Not many people they do. I don't know why. It's so easy to win consulting. But if you do this, you're probably going to have more chances to win this consulting service. Okay? I'm going to explain in the post. You will see the post in there. So you'll be able to make sure that you did the right thing. Otherwise, I would like to thank you guys very much for your participation and your engagement tonight. And don't forget, we have our meeting tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. And then on Tuesday, 7 p.m. And Tuesday, we're going to have Michele with us talking about the PTE English test. As you said that you would be interested to have an expert in the English PTE English test here. So I spoke with her and she's happy to come here. I don't get anything, you know. I usually bring either Bernardo, he's also a PTE expert. I will bring Michelle this time. So get my partners in different ways. So don't forget, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Brisbane time, I'm going to send you an email with the link of the Microsoft Teams. And also I'm going to put in my Instagram and Telegram and in the WhatsApp groups as well. So thank you very much, guys. And I hope you had some learnings. Don't forget to write your learnings in the 75% discount post. So you are in the running to get more than $1,000 in discount on Tuesday. Okay. Thank you very much. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.